O mist-shrouded Kremnoan, city of chaos and war, the blood of patricide flows in your royal line, and your god bears calamity's name. The undying Mydei, the solitary lion, O Chrysos heir that seeks the core flame of strife. You must suffer 1,000 deaths, be bathed in blood, and bear your mad fate alone, for one must slay a god to become one. On this episode, let us glimpse the truth of this king crowned in blood, Mydei, a warrior sworn to alchemy. Today, we've invited a special guest, a helpful citizen who claims to know everything about Mydei, Mr. Phainon.
Hello, everyone. I'm Phainon.
Mr. Phainon, your enthusiasm is incredible. You signed up for our show seconds after the casting call went out. You and Mydei must be true friends.
True friends? No way. I'm actually here because of you, Mr. Owlbert.
Oh? How so?
Look, our hair color is practically identical. Maybe we're long-lost brothers.
Did you put all your skill points into humor or something? Let's not keep the audience waiting. It's time to introduce today's star! Mydei is an imaginary character following the path of destruction. As the crown prince of Castrum Kremnoan, he inherited his people's boundless courage and honed his body to perfection, unleashing utter devastation with the purest might.
If you want might, he's got might. If you want wisdom, he's got might. And if you want humor, he's got might. He's Amphoreus' most well-rounded powerhouse.
You truly understand the art of flattery. When using his basic attack, Mydei deals imaginary damage based on his max HP to one designated enemy. When using skill, Mydei consumes HP to deal imaginary damage to one designated enemy and adjacent targets based on his max HP. This ability does not consume skill points. When he loses HP, he gains charges based on the percentage of max HP lost. And when Mydei's charge reaches a certain level, he consumes charges to enter Vendetta, restoring HP and advancing his action. While in Vendetta, Mydei gains increased maximum HP. If Mydei suffers a killing blow, he will not be knocked down, but will instead clear all charges, exit the Vendetta state, and restore his HP. After unlocking the trace Earth and Water, Mydei will no longer exit Vendetta when struck by a killing blow while in the Vendetta state.
That immortal body soaks up damage like a sponge. Trust me, I've tested it myself.
After unlocking the trace 30 Tyrants, Mydei becomes immune to crowd control debuffs while in Vendetta. Mydei in Vendetta will attack anyone who dares stand in his way. He will automatically launch attacks and use the more powerful abilities Kingslayer be King and Godslayer be God.
Don't joke around with Mydei, because his fists are no joke. I've tested them. They hurt.
Oh, you two truly are friends till death do you part. When using the enhanced skill Kingslayer be King, Mydei consumes HP to deal more imaginary damage to one designated enemy and adjacent targets based on his max HP. This does not consume skill points. While in Vendetta, Mydei's defense has a value of 0.
But he's not pulling any punches. He just sees defense as unnecessary baggage.
That's right, because that way he gets more charges when he's hit. Once Mydei's charge reaches a certain level, he consumes charges to gain one extra turn and unleash his most devastating attack, Godslayer be God. He will deal overwhelmingly high imaginary damage to one designated enemy and adjacent targets. As before, this costs no skill points.
An eye for an eye. How about 10 eyes instead? Sounds like a Kremnoan to me.
When using his ultimate, Mydei deals imaginary damage to one designated enemy and adjacent targets based on his max HP, taunting the attacked enemies for several turns. Furthermore, the next Godslayer be God will prioritize attacking the enemy target designated by the ultimate.
He taunts me every time we meet. I thought he was born with that.
You've got quite the talent for taunting people too, huh? Where was I again? All right, when casting his ultimate, Mydei restores HP and gains charges for his talent. After unlocking the trace Bloody Chitin, and if Mydei's max HP reaches a certain threshold at the start of battle, he will increase his crit rate, the charges he gains when attacked, and his incoming healing based on his max HP that exceeds the threshold. Using his technique, Mydei pulls in enemies within a certain range and dazes them. Dazed enemies will not actively attack allies. When attacking a dazed enemy to enter battle, Mydei deals imaginary damage based on his max HP to all enemies! Taunts them for several turns and gains charges for his talent. Okay, let's sum it up. Mydei is a battlefield powerhouse who can both fight and tank and thrives in brutal and intense combat conditions. Most of his damage comes from using Kingslayer be King and Godslayer be God in Vendetta. Additionally, in the Vendetta state, Mydei is unfazed by killing blows. Mydei can quickly enter Vendetta either by using his ultimate, taking enemy hits, or frequently using his skill to consume HP. Then, he can unleash his most powerful strike to crush his enemies!
You have to admit that Mydei is powerful and also a really good guy. You can definitely trust him to watch your back in a fight.
Only through the trials of battle can a warrior's bravery and skill be fully realized. Time for real combat. Let's see how this ferocious conqueror reigns over the battlefield and becomes crowned in blood. Mydei uses his technique and enters battle. Thanks to his technique, he's already gained a certain amount of charge. Mydei uses his skill to deal damage to the enemy, consume his HP, and gain more charges. He then enters Vendetta and advances his action. His skill, now enhanced, unleashes a raging inferno upon his enemies. Pressing the advantage, Mydei targets the enemy leader to use his ultimate on, dealing damage while also restoring HP and gaining charges. The enemy's leader also becomes the target of Godslayer be God. Due to the taunt effect of the ultimate, enemies focus their attacks on Mydei, and the HP he loses is converted into charges. And since his max HP surpasses a certain threshold, he gains more charges when attacked and receives more HP when healed. Not only did the enemy fail to take down Mydei, they're about to suffer his most terrifying attack. After consuming his HP to use Kingslayer be King, Mydei finally has enough charges. He immediately receives an extra turn, and it's time to use Godslayer be God. With this final ruthless strike, the enemy is grounded into paste. The battlefield falls silent, and that's a wrap.
What a satisfying battle. Mydei's power is unquestionable, but it's a pity he still can't stand up to me.
You're more powerful than him. Well, in that case, can I please trouble you with something?
Just say the word. I can do anything, except get on Aglaya or Treebee's bad side.
Well, Dressmaster has been eyeing my poor feathers. I've been so worried I can't even eat in peace. I don't even dare go outside. Oh, Sir Phainon, save me!
That's a tough one. I'll try to figure something out in the next few days.
That's too bad. If I asked Mydei, he'd have this wrapped up in one day.
Fine, don't you worry. I'll sort it out in half a day.